The illustrated scroll of the sake and rice debate was created in the first half of the 16th century. In this scroll, the three main characters, a drinker, a rice lover, and a man who likes both in moderation appear. It is accompanied by poems regarding their opinions on sake and food, and vivid illustrations of each banquet or cooking, which makes it a fun piece to look at. The first section begins with an introduction to the three men. Then, the next three sections feature each man's speech and a depiction of the banquet or its preparation within their houses. In addition to its historical and literary value, the illustrated scroll of the sake and rice debate is a valuable resource for understanding food culture in medieval Japan. Let us take you on a tour of the world depicted in this work from the perspective of Sakeology. The protagonist of the second section of the illustrated scroll of the sake and rice debate is a sake-loving courtier named Nagamochi. In the opening lines, Nagamochi's typical sake-loving theory is presented, including lines such as, "Sake is the best of all medicines," and "Sake is indispensable at all annual events." The sake cup in Nagamochi's hands is noteworthy. Today, people in Japan sometimes use lacquered sake cups, but this is actually an unglazed earthenware cup. Awaiting in front of Nagamochi is an attendant holding a nagae no choshi, a long-handled decanter used to pour sake. New sake is brought from the kitchen next door in a container known as a hisage. The sake is added to the nagae no choshi from that container. These are also well known because the dolls used in Hinamatsuri, a Japanese festival that celebrates the growth of girls, still hold these objects. There are also traditional drinking vessels used at weddings. Let us return to the banquet topic. The party is joined by what appear to be professional musicians who dance naked while someone dozes off. And as you shift your gaze toward the porch, you can see people throwing up in the yard. And then there's a drunken man who can't walk independently. How do you feel about these comical and somewhat realistic people portrayed in a house of drinkers? The protagonist of the third section is Kohan, a monk who loves rice. Following his critical opinion of drinking and alcoholic beverages, the scene of a meal at the mansion is depicted. Kohan is eating a heaping bowl of rice. There are 8 bowls on the trays. They include rice cooked with vegetables or berries, and boiled rice in hot water. He and his guests are enjoying a variety of rice dishes. As a large number of rice dishes were served, you could look to the kitchen and see that rice cakes and other sweets were being prepared one after another. It is surprising how much Kohan loves rice. The protagonist of the fourth section is Nakanari, a warrior who loves moderation. Following the line, "Sake and rice are good in moderation," the scene of a banquet is depicted. The menu, which is well balanced in both quantity and variety, is lined up in front of Nakanari and the others. They enjoy drinking sake as well, but the cups are of a reasonable size. And a room next door is noteworthy. From a kannabe, sake warming pot with a spout, an older man poured sake into a young man's hisage. Upon closer inspection, the sake is light brown in color. This suggests that the sake at the time was not clear. Behind them are a charcoal fire and a 3-legged kettle stand. This is where the sake was heated using the kannabe. This shows that heated sake has been consumed since that time in history. In the kitchen, people are cooking fish and poultry. The variety of ingredients used in the dishes gives the impression of luxury. The illustrated scroll of the sake and rice debate vividly depicts the richness of people's diets in Japan during the Middle Ages. However, in the 16th century, when the work was created, the real world was a place riddled with conflicts. The fact that such a work was created during this disturbing time demonstrates the people's longing for sake and food, as well as their desire for peace. At the same time, we can share the joy of eating and drinking with the people of the past through these classic works of literature and art.